Oh my god, it's a stream day! Welcome to another episode of A Tale of Dice. My name is Wouter. These people also have names, but you don't care about those. You care about the characters that they're playing. We have Charlie playing Grakal, the Dragonborn champion, Crystal playing Hannah, the Eladrin druid, and Allison playing the half-elf? Half-elf. Half-elf rogue, but more sort of a noble, whatever. He's a fighter man.
Maybe
he does the talking.
Maybe I'm playing a dead man soon.
Oh god, oh god. However, there's one person who is not playing with us today, so let us hold a silent vigil for a second, and then forget all about Maxime, who will no longer be playing Iroh ever for this one stream. No, Maxime is doing some other quality things, deceiving people in real life, trying to be a nobleman in real life. But he will not be with us this day, unfortunately. So Iroh will have a little bit of a corona outbreak with himself and have a little bit of a throat problem, which makes him speak way less than he normally should. Maxime, you're missed. But hopefully you will be back with us next week.
It's gonna make things difficult this session, I think, but we'll see.
Yeah, Grakal might have to do some talking. No, but how the game will unfold, we will jump in shortly. Before that, are you guys doing okay?
Yeah, actually, yeah.
Had a good week?
I've slept till, I think, 2 p.m. So, yeah, I've had a good sleep. I needed it, apparently.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, the rest of the day I've just been chilling, hanging out a little bit with people, and then now this, I like it.
Good times. Crystal, you're radiating.
I know, I can't help it. It's
beautiful.
We already discussed this. It's her boyfriend that's radiating, not her.
Yeah.
Oh, radiating off on her.
Yeah.
He's so pretty.
Or he's just radioactive. That could also be it.
Oh, that could also be the
Pretty cool.
Well.
And Charlie, what's your favorite color today?
What's my favorite color today? My favorite color always will be red and blue.
Oh,
That's
Red.
2 colors.
Yeah, colors. I don't adhere to color monogamy.
that's very American of you. You are too free to have one of your favorite colors, and so they
Yeah.
are red and blue.
Yep.
Should have a white in there somewhere. But...
No, I don't. That has bad connotations.
Yeah. Wow, that's even more American of you.
I don't want to be associated with those Americans.
Oh god.
Those Americans.
Well then,
Or
before
those
we get too
Dutchmen. Yeah.
Before we get too political in this sitch up in here, last week we had a bit of a problem with our internet connection, and so we pulled some strings and eventually just streamed some stupid games. However, internet is up and running.
And I think the quality is better than ever before. Because I've adjusted a couple of things to tweak it a little bit more. And instead of running on 800 kilobits per second for upload, I do now for 3.2 MB.
So now
that's
people
better.
can people see how shiny my forehead is?
Well, your internet's still not that great, but besides that.
I think I'm watching the stream on the other screen, and I think I can see my reflection.
Stream on the other screen.
Stream on the other screen. Wow, that's a good tongue twister right there. So, yeah, and even if stuff would explode at your end, Max, we have a
backup
set up as we speak, which people should have done so in the first place, people being us. However, we also being inconsiderate idiots, did not.
Well, the primary thing is that we changed a lot of things recently, and that we didn't bring those things over to a backup yet. So we had a backup in general, because you had the previous screen, etc. But
the backup was backed up.
It was just bad timing.
yeah, it was.
Murphy's Law.
Yep.
All right, shall we?
But do you know what is good time? A time to play a game. So, let me ask the three of you once again, lady, gentlemen, shall we play a game?
Maybe
Guys-
I'll play a game with you, Wes.
Guys, you still haven't answered me. Are we going to? Are we?
My answer is maybe.
Maybe.
Yeah, but
I
we're live.
think I'll stick around. I think I'll stick around at least.
Fair enough. Let's see how it goes.
You can try and convince us with your first talk.
You know, I get paid by the hour, so it's all good.
Wait, you guys are getting paid?
You didn't know?
Surely.
So, to jump us into the beautiful game of Pathfinder 2nd Edition, last time we left off, our heroes were still underway through the wilds of the Cragged Hills, as they had 2 different missions within these wild landscapes. At first, they had received an assignment from a representative of a guild of mages, known as Violora Moran, who tasked them for her guild to retrieve a magical sword that had been lost in transit here in these regions. However, the other purpose that our heroes themselves had taken upon them was that darkness had been creeping in different regions of the world, and so also here within these wild lands. And as our different heroes, all akin to nature, to radiance, or life itself, set out to vanquish these shadows from all the different nooks and crannies that this place might harbor. Coming into these lands, you quickly realized that the artifact in question had been taken up by a warlord of Hobgoblin descent, a man who called himself Tazric the Drake Lord, with all of his Hobgoblin subordinates training different riding drakes to serve as mounts in combat, were now bolstering their forces by use of this radiating sword to enslave the very creatures of shadow that you came here to vanquish. To fell such a powerful foe, you needed to acquire allies. First, stepping towards a tribe of treants that made their home in these regions. After a somewhat failed bout of negotiation, you needed to look elsewhere for allies, and as such, Grakal and Iroh ventured forth to a town here in these wild regions known as Treffelsford, where Iroh portrayed himself as a noble lord from a distant land who would arrive actually 3 days later, took up the guise of this noble lord, convinced the lord and lady of this township that the hobgoblins were too serious a threat to be left unchecked, and were now readying the entire guard of this town, as well as an entire mercenary company that holed up in this town also, to march into the wilds as a show of strength against Tazric.
Oh god.
Yep, this is happening.
And he's left me holding the bag.
Yeah. Iroh is now just eating the entire time. That's why he's doing that. As Grakal and Iroh are still in town preparing these forces to march into the wilds, somewhere else in the wilds, Hannah and Allison, together with one of the treants that would follow them named Farroot, were holed up very close to one of the hobgoblin guerrilla warfare camps. In this camp, they had found Tazric the Drake Lord, as well as an entire company of hobgoblin soldiers, rangers, and drake riders. And they had taken upon themselves the task of keeping this man here, poking at his defenses, making him realize that he was under siege and needed to stay there to, well, ward off this attack. Doing so, eventually the hobgoblins of this encampment found the encampment of Hannah and Allison and their treant friend, but they managed to shield themselves from their eyes, while the hobgoblins left a little note asking them to come meet with Tazric in an honorable one-on-one to shake hands with the foes that they had made. After these patrols left, Hannah and Allison followed these hobgoblins, not wanting the information of where their camp was located to fall into enemy hands. They made short work of the hobgoblins, slaying them all, except one, who now lays unconscious on the grass floor of this meadow. And that's where we'll start today's episode. As the two of you loom over this hobgoblin, this large, hulking treant mass of your friend Farroot also takes a close look at him. Hannah, Allison, what would you like to do?
Allison stares at this face for a little bit. He's just thinking for a bit, not really responding to anything else, just having his hand over his head, like deeply in thought currently.
What are you thinking about?
I think Yeah, I don't think we have any other chance but to accept his invitation.
You want to go there?
Yes. I look up at Hannah. Yes. I want to show them the worth of the Empire. Like, we want to convince them to not start a war, right?
I mean, I guess, but they do have like a very powerful sword and a Hydra. I
And
mean,
police cars.
Allison unknowingly casts a alarm spell. I'm sorry, Crystal. Your nature magic is not under control. What happens?
Where's the artifact? But depending on how long Iroh and Grukal take, like if they accumulate a big enough army, then these goblins will feel threatened and they will fight.
Mhm.
That's in their nature. We have to make sure that they don't instantly engage on them, right? So the only thing we can do how we can do that is basically approach them, explain that we want to duel with them in some way, to basically claim them into the Empire. That's basically our goal, right?
but what if they just attack us and we die and everything will be for nothing?
I don't think their honor will allow this.
I don't know how much honor they have.
The small amounts of information I have about these kind of tribes, militaristic tribes, is that honor is very important for them. Like, you noticed how that one hobgoblin that he interrogated, he asked to die, right?
Yeah.
That's part of his honor. He wants to die a warrior's death. It wouldn't be honorable for him to return empty-handed with his allies slain.
Okay, so if we go in,
I will go in.
I won't let you go alone. I either will be by your side or on the side of the camp so I can get help or something if you get hurt.
Okay, Hannah, I can use my connections that I have in the Empire. Like, they know your form, they know who you are. Is it worth the risk?
I'm not going to let you go alone. That's the end of the discussion. I'm not going to do that.
Oh, you're so stubborn!
So are you. You want to go into the camp and you're calling me stubborn.
Yes, I am. Alright. Okay. Think I have a plan, but... Okay, Allison takes his sword, walks up to the bodies that are here and decapitates every head.
What?
Okay. A little bit of effort. And eventually you have 3 hobgoblin heads. Unless you also want to decapitate the one that you just knocked out and left unconscious.
I stand before that guy and I look at Hannah. Should we leave him alive? Or should I bring him with me, to the camp?
Yeah, if you're going to the camp anyway, you just let him live, I guess.
Okay, so just a little bit out of character, just to verify, we made up this plan to get an army and discuss with the hobgoblins with that army at our side. And now you're going alone anyway. Okay, just I'm joking. Just checking. I wasn't entirely paying attention, but I'm up to date.
We want to make sure that you guys as an army don't get slain on your road here, when you travel here.
By getting slain ourselves.
Yeah.
That was fine.
Yeah, by being a dead man myself, yeah. Would it be a bad thing to bring him with me due to their honor system or not? Like, I think I can play it off as if Allison looks at a couple of wounds that he has. This one could have been his. Okay, I think I have a plan.
if you're going to, maybe if you don't kill him, you will show your weakness, and I don't know if that's a good thing now. You can just tie him up here, and get him later.
Also a thing. All right. Sure. Let's tie him up high in the tree as we discussed earlier. Okay.
I might be able to help with that. As your treant friend just picks him up and just as he now hangs from like the rope you tied him up with, like from a branch.
That will do. You sure you want to join? You don't have to. This is...
Well, we have like a giant tree friend with us, and I look at Farud.
Yes, I do not think I can enter their camp.
No. I
wouldn't
was
suggest.
thinking about us being just right outside the campment, so I can look right in with my eyes, and then I can see if things go wrong or not.
I do not know how close I can get before being seen.
Oh,
We
that's
could
fair.
also have
My
Farud search.
branches are quite large.
We could also have Farud try and meet up with Ira and Grakal. Discuss a point that we want to meet up after.
So you're going to use the message?
No. I'm gonna send Farud their way. To the main road that Grakal and Ira will be traveling.
That might be smart. It will be faster that way because Farud knows too.
The terrain does not hinder my steps as it does yours.
But that's why I thought it might be smart if Farud would stay close, because if something happens, I could go to Farud and we could go to the team together.
If something bad happens when I'm in there, either I escape on my own, or you blow some chaos in that poor thing and I try to escape, but the two of you will not be able to help me physically. If I'm in there, I'm stuck in there, unless I escape on my own. How else would you like to help me? Like, you can shoot some fireballs from a distance, but that's it,
Yeah.
right? So
But
do you need Farud for that?
No, just send him off.
I do not know if this is wise, but I will join your companions then.
Thanks,
Allison. Good luck.
Thank you.
Time is short. As he begins to march into the trees beyond.
All right. I got this, Hannah. My parents taught me how to do this. This is what I'm supposed to do.
Just don't die.
Allison basically takes all the hats with him and starts wandering to the camp.
All right. So, with 3 different hobgoblin heads under your arm and in your backpack, you begin to...
I basically buy their hair. I pull them in one hand.
Oh, like in like a nice little knapsack.
Yeah.
All right.
By hair.
As such, as such, Allison begins to march forward. Hannah, what do you do?
I follow him to the camp. Just the same as I always do. Like, get close, change into my best form.
Very well.
I'll make sure that...
And go sit in a tree.
I'll make sure that I don't get trapped in one of those claws at least when I go there.
Do you want to first like travel as a pest form like on Allison and then drop off, or what's the plan here?
No, I'm just going to get close as human, then change into pest form and then
All
go
right.
sit in the tree. I'm not going to use the same entrance as Allison. I'm going to, I'm going to do it on the other side of the camp.
All right, fair enough. So you guys split up, and as you are going to get closer and closer, we'll first pan over to Allison. As you march out into the woods, not stealthily, but presenting yourself towards whatever creatures might live here. Eventually, as you march through these forests, not being stealthy, things go a lot quicker. And within 10 minutes, you actually arrive in the vicinity of the camp. And as you do so, you can already see to your left a couple of hobgoblins with bows out.
Erase the paper in front of me.
The bows lower. They let you pass, watching you with eagle eyes as you take every step forward.
As I walk in, take a very deep breath and...
You're not at the camp yet.
Okay.
Because this is just in the outskirts.
Okay.
As you walk towards the camp, you eventually see through this small opening into the camp itself. What you see there is perhaps not exactly what you would have expected. There are still 2 guards at the gate, but even now you can see that the amount of tents that are in it has diminished. And you can actually see that a hobgoblin walks up and takes down a tent. And as such, many hobgoblins are doing the same. However, as you can see, the large tent that was now blackened by the fireball spell still stands, patched up with different places, some burn marks here and there, but the large tent is still, without lack of a better word, erected. As you, Hannah, get closer and closer, go ahead and make a stealth check for me, real quick.
Oh, please, God. Be with me. Oh! 29.
29. All right. It's a good thing that you rolled high, because right as Allison also saw some hobgoblins in the outskirts, eventually, as you are not really aware of how far the hobgoblin raiding parties or scouts or guards or whatever you want to call it were venturing outward, they're a lot farther this time. And eventually you have to press yourself against this one tree, knowing that you're still way too far away from the hobgoblin encampment itself to already go into pest form. You let them pass, and from there on out you begin to stealth closer and closer and closer, and eventually also get towards the camp. And as you turn into pest form, you eventually get to the wall. But what you will find there depends on what Allison will do next.
Oh.
As you step towards the encampment?
I step towards it, yeah. So basically, as I almost entering it, I take a very deep breath, let the magic flow through me, and cast guidance on myself. And I want to increase my posture a little bit. Basically, be a lot more charismatic, and basically come over as someone that's not afraid at all, and just has the demeanor as if he belongs here.
All right. And as you step up towards this encampment, the 2 hobgoblin guards in their hide armor with patches of metal here and there step forward, long swords in hand with shields. They link their shields together.
I'm here for Testrick.
Shakes his weapon, points to the ground.
I'm here for Testrick. Take my weapon, put it in the ground.
Tink. One hobgoblin sheathes his sword, puts his shield on his back, walks forward towards you, begins to pat you down. Do you have any other knives?
Nope, I do not.
You not have any?
Well, I would have left him at the camp, at least.
All right. You don't have any other knives on you. Okay. In that case, he just like pats you down, and of course he doesn't find anything.
I have 3 hats with me.
And as such, you are led into the encampment. The small puddle of water that you know houses this creature of shadow, this hydra from some sort of shadowy place, slick black and oily, that the different spears enchanted with light keep in place, the magic of the weapon that you are seeking right now. You walk around the puddle as all the hobgoblins preparing, picking up camp, getting everything ready. You look to the right as you can see the hillside creep upward, where you can see a couple of drakes. You count them, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and one very, very large green one. As the green serpentine drake, known as Kima, stepping forward, hisses at you, then goes back to eating a little bit out of a goblin's hands, who's just standing like. As you are led towards the tent.
What? Sorry, okay, continue.
Excuse me?
What?
I was just the goblin.
You just now realized what happened.
I-
they have a couple of normal. There's predominantly hobgoblins, but they have, as you count, like a handful of normal goblins that work as like slaves, and as such, they are tasked with like feeding their drakes that they use as mounts, and they don't really like it because they can be swallowed up in one bite.
So may I ask a question? You've described like their stature, roughly their size, and their skin color, greenish, grayish. But the goblins in your universe, do they look more like the Dungeons and Dragons, Lord of the Rings goblins, or more like the big head Pathfinder goblins?
Yeah, we're going for a squished head, long Pathfinder football head in this one.
Oh yeah, okay.
Although I do think like the noses in Pathfinder are very, very small. Mine have a little bit more bigger, so they're like a little bit in between, I guess.
Small
Alright.
small clowns.
Small clowns.
Yeah,
Small clowns.
with like really a lot of fangs. And stuff sticking out
of course.
that big
Yeah,
mouth.
you don't want to encounter one. Like it's like the worst baby ever.
Okay, sweet.
You don't
Well,
want
that sounds like every. But anyway.
Yeah, fair enough. They're actually a little bit prettier than human babies, but
Thank you for explaining.
Okay.
Continue.
As I'm standing in front of his stand, I basically shout, "Testrik the Drake Lord! I'm here to talk. Come out."
the hobgoblin that is guiding you towards this, you can now see that the other one is walking behind you with the sword in your back. As you yell this, they look a little bit confused as they don't understand your tongue. But the one goblin in front of you just does, and there's a tent. And then opens the tent before you. As you step in, you can see
But I'll
a
I'll
large-
try and stay outside and basically see if he responds to me. Alright. Let's talk out in the open air.
I do not believe that you have power here, elf. As you can feel the pointed end of a longsword poking your back.
We'll see. And okay, I walk in.
As you take a few steps inside, what you can first see is that approximately like half of this large tent, which is like 15 to 20 meters in diameter, is one large open area with like wooden benches set up on both sides. Some sort of a small auditorium, probably to talk to the troops in some way, with like a large pit in the middle where battles can be had, or someone can also just stand, because as you count like all the places that the small benches house, it's not enough to house all of the goblins in this camp, let alone if other goblins from other camps would also come towards this one. In the middle, the entire tent is like draped with one large piece of cloth, with in the middle, standing before it, what seems to be a wooden throne built from different logs, mostly just functional, not really all that grandiose. However, the drapes on the other side are depicted with two large battle axes on each side, bloodied with like some sort of red paint, probably from some of the vegetation that live in these areas. They also have slits in both sides. So you have the throne in the back end and then two other openings to the other sides. Here you can see the hobgoblin known as Tazrik the Drake Lord. Here he sits on top of his throne, with his hand on his head. With his head on his hand, with the large great sword that you had been tasked with procuring, at his side. Now you can see the beautiful design, the almost white metal, even now that is not activated, already blinking and radiating, the golden hilts in the form of different feathers, and the beautiful inlaid diamond at the top of it. The blade itself is almost flaring up, and it seems to have the design of a large white flame all the way to the end. You can see there are also a couple of other hobgoblins here in this tent with him. Most dominantly a couple of rangers who probably were doing their reports, who are now just standing at the side, arms crossed over each other, but tense to every muscle for any move that you might make. And next to Tazric, somewhere on the ground, actually, there is just this one log where another hobgoblin is situated. A hobgoblin who looks at you with a strong, measuring gaze. A hobgoblin that doesn't look like all the others, just as Tazric doesn't look like all the others. This one has in front of him this large wooden shield with the same black battle axe depicted, blood dripping out of it, with blackened on one side and white on the other. So you have like this motif that it was burnt on one side. And here he just sits. What you can also see is that there is a large banner behind Tazric, which holds another icon, the blue talon that you actually saw. And you begin to think about what this black battle axe might depict. Go ahead and make a religion check for me.
Religion?
Mm-hmm.
Natural 14 for 17.
17? It's very basic, but you know of... this is a depiction that many goblins and goblinoids carry, and it's some sort of depiction of their god. So that explains like the difference. They have like their own icon of their talon, the talons of the mighty one as they call themselves, and then they have this battle axe that's probably of their god, but who knows what that god actually is. It slips your mind at this moment.
Okay.
The hobgoblin sits there with his large shield, with also a black battle axe just embedded in the stump below him as he is cleaning the shield a little bit. Where the other hobgoblins are armored in different leathers. This one is armored in this beautiful full plate armor, as well as Tazric sitting on his throne in full plates. Where Tazric has black hair in a man bun with two different streaks, giving him this like Asian warrior aesthetic. This other guy at the side has a completely shaven head, completely different from all the other hobgoblins that you've seen.
Okay. I'd like to have the first word to him, so if you're done explaining, let me know.
Go.
Okay. So basically, Allison walks in, relatively calm, looks at him. Tazric the Drake Lord, tribe's leader of the talons of the Mighty One. If your purpose was to seek the attention of the Empire, you have succeeded. Here I am on their behalf. We've been testing your tribe's capabilities and threat level, and we must say, as I take the heads behind me, that we expected a little bit more of men playing with fire, or should I rather say shadows. Either way, the potential is surely there. I've seen your men operate, and you must have seen this yourself too. Hence the reason you have sought our attention, has it not? Very smart indeed. Where are my manners? Let me introduce myself. I put my fist against my chest, make a small bow. My name is Allison Artano. My family has connections in all corners of the Empire's army. As you see, we craft their artifacts of war. Artifacts far more powerful than the blade you stole from us and currently have in your possession. You can see me as a representative of the Empire if you so wish. Would you mind having a walk with me as we talk?
As many of your kind, Allison Artano, you speak many honeyed words. No, you are in my domain, and we shall remain here in my room.
I would have so liked to feed your pet, and I raise the heads again.
I must thank you for thinning my herd a bit, then. it's always nice to have adversaries who can weed out those inappropriate to my horde. No, but you misunderstand, Allison. Do you not think that the power of your so-called empire is known to us? Do you not think that we know what we deal with? This is but a simple gesture of respect to one another, but it seems that you, coming in with these accusations of stupidity and things of grandeur, lack that form of honor.
Oh no, not at all.
You shall remain silent as I speak to you, elf, or my arrows will riddle your body, and then we shall feed my pat. I want you to know, before I send you on your way, that we know what is coming. We have seen what has been carrying out in Treffelsford. We have followed your companions, and it has shown us every move. We also know that you tried to converse with these treants, but failed. We do not survive in this place by mere stupidity, young elf. We survive in this place because these lands belong to us.
Oh,
because we belong to these lands, and because we will reign over them. These few bastions of civilization that have peaked these small hilltops, places where you and your empire still think that you rule, they will crash and burn under the lights of the power that we have procured. Everything that enters these lands is ours. Everything that we take is ours, and we shall take more. We have not led these shadows, we are leading these shadows. Now, with that being said, what do you have to say to Tazrig the Drake Lord before your so-called army walks into one of our ambushes, too late for you to save them?
Oh dear, oh dear. I thought you were smarter than trying to provoke the Empire, but yet, I'd like to say that your people are ruining your potential.
You do not speak for your empire. You know nothing of this empire of yours. Do you not think that I speak with adversaries of the empire every day, and with their benefactors? Why do you think that these lands are so long been away from the empire? Do you honestly think that the empire has any say in what goes on within my realm?
What I'm trying to say is that your people are ruining your potential. You must have noticed this yourself too. Your tribe, especially you and your rangers. Why waste your time and your skills raiding those that stand below you in power? The people in these lands are simple folk, untrained, not made for war. There is no honor in defeating them in combat, no challenge.
Then, Diplomat Elf, what would you have Tazrik and his men do?
This continent houses many dangers that do deserve your attention. But you might as well be aware that to reach those, you must not make war with the Empire, but join it, don't you?
Ah, you are one of those creatures that come here to say that we should align ourselves with the Empire, to not be free anymore, but to subserve them, to serve under them because that would give us so much glory. Is that it?
It would fulfill your potential, yes.
It would fulfill my potential.
Yes.
You jest, elf. How many of the Empire's men do you think have walked within this very tent in different locations, speaking these exact words to me? Only align yourself with us, and we will give you glory and blood. Oh, they did give us glory and blood, but not in the way that they foresaw.
You underestimate the Empire, Kresrik.
No, I think you misunderstand the empire you hail from. When you walk within these lands where every footfall can be the end of you, and that is a choice because the lands outside it are more dangerous because the legions of the empire walk within them, then you shall know your empire.
The Empire does not simply let everyone that has the balls to challenge it join its military ranks. Your rangers have proven yourself but I have not seen any proof from you of your strength yet, or your elite team. I am here to challenge you to a duel in hand-to-hand combat to prove your strength. Associates of mine, you've noticed them, yes, arrive soon with an army backing them up for if you break your honor in this duel. What I would like to suggest, we, the 6 of us, as representatives of the Empire, which include all of the Imperial might, our druid, her cat, a treant, will represent the elemental chaos's power, and nature's and face's strength. We also have representatives of the halfling's cunning and dragonborn might backing us up. And lastly, I will represent the elven finesse. What I'm asking of you is to select your warriors and show us that you deserve being part of the Empire. Impress us, and on my family's honor, I will swear I will make sure you will get your chance to prove yourself in the Empire's army, and most definitely find a most honorable warrior's death that has noticed you so much desire.
Go ahead and make a diplomacy check for me.
All right. I'm going to use my hero's point. Okay. That's a natural 19 for 29.
Or 29. As you say this, you can see that the hand of Tazric along his blade is like bleaking his knuckles so tight he is gripping it, as his other hand is digging into the wood of his throne. He listens to your words, and as he tries to speak up, like you can already feel like all of the energy for another monologue of his, as the other hobgoblin at the side begins to laugh. He's got you there, brother. You know that... Shut up. He points towards you. You know that the Empire is not yet ready for us, and we're not yet ready for it. We can slaughter all of these guards and all of these rangers, you know it, but you and I have spoken on it as well. It is not the time yet. Then what would you have me do, brother? Well, he proposes a nice game. I'll make a bet with you. Look, he's not gonna say it for me, but I can. He, will take on your little one-on-one. And if we win, then all your little troops march back to where they came from. And we no longer speak of this matter.
If we win, we have one condition, and that is that the Empire wants back what your people stole. The blade that's in your possession and the guns our goblin friend Nido managed to lose in your hands.
Look, whoa. Okay. He's not saying stolen, he's saying he wants that, and Nido's devices as prizes. Watch your fucking words. What do you say, Tazric the Drake Lord? You come in my halls and speak to me of these matters like you know things. Very well. I will call back our ambush for now. We will meet in the meadow where you and your encampment were made.
Very well. It has been an honor. I make a bow.
I love it. I
walk around and I
right
walk out of
Greek mythology. Two great armies face each other down. Instead of killing everyone, they send their envoys. We kill for them. I love it, dude. Good job. Seriously, good job. I way underestimated. Seriously, nice.
So,
also, A fed you a while ago.
Yeah, I noticed and I was like, I'm focusing here.
yeah. So I had this this large battle map, which would have been a complete bloodbath.
Yes.
Like, this is one of the hobgoblin encampments, there are more. You would have forced their hands, and they would have just. It would have not been pretty. Would have not been pretty.
Nice.
Nope.
So okay.
This is
Cool.
like, I knew that they noticed, right? Like that army would not have been unavoidable. Like they would have not gone unavoidable with their rangers. Like their skills were pretty good. Like they're pretty good rangers. So
Like
yeah.
they live in these lands.
Yeah.
Like they reign supreme here in these lands. Ooh, but you've made him mad, son.
Yes.
Ooh, talking against him like that. Ooh, oh my god. I was like, I cannot make you roll for this because this is pushing all of his buttons. He's getting angrier and angrier. You cannot convince him like this. Oh, with that. Oh yeah, you can convince him with that. All right. So with that being said, as Tasrig is almost breaking his relic in his hands, you exit the encampment and are not so courteously pushed outside of the palisade.
Take my weapon back. Put it back. Drop the hats. Would you like this back?
Who do you
At
ask?
the guards.
He looks at you with like one brow upward. He doesn't understand your language.
Put them down. I walk away. They have their
All right.
hats back.
Okay, so that circumvents a little bit of the things that I had in store for this session. Good job, Allison. Good job.
I like this a lot. That was great. It was awesome.
All right, so let me just.
I'm so happy I rolled a 19. This could have done so south.
All right, as this was just a conversation, Hannah, you were standing guard, I guess. Right?
Yeah, I'm just in a
And
tree
eventually-
waiting.
Yeah, you eventually see Allison leave the campsite once again.
So I guess wait, but he's just outside the tent, right? Or outside the campment?
You first see him walk out of the tent with two goblins like pushing him forward with pointy ends of metal, and then eventually they are pushing him outside of the camp in its entirety.
Okay, then I go outside as well.
All right. As you are marching back, eventually Hannah meets up with you.
Hi, Anna. Oh, glorious.
What happened?
They knew exactly what we were doing. And I convinced them to have a duel with us. Else, Iro and
Wait,
Grakal would have
with
probably
us?
died now.
What, us or
With
you?
the six
Are we
of
going to
us.
fight-
With the six of us, yes. Us versus their elites.
Great!
Yes! No other bloodshed! This is amazing!
Oh, so you don't think we're all going to die now?
No. I think we can take him.
Okay. Wait, 6. So me, Grakal, Arrow, you,
Our little tree and
Nilo and
friend.
Farouk?
Yeah.
We're going to include Farouk in this. I'm not going to let him be killed. You know that? Okay.
Oh, good.
He's here to
Prepare for
help.
Healing spells.
Great.
Oh yeah.
He's here
Not
to
what I
help.
was expecting, but good.
They were onto us. This had to be the case. Like, their rangers were so capable. Like, I'm so happy I won. Like, they had an ambush planned for Iro and Grakal.
Yeah, I guess. So they just took that away, right?
They're gonna take away their ambush, yeah. They're gonna let their army come here, and we're gonna have this challenge. If we lose, well, we're probably dead. And the rest of the army will return, and things are as normal. And if we win, they might be able to consider the Empire.
Might this be the time to send them a message so that they don't attack when they arrive? Because
We're gonna
Farouk
meet
is
them.
already there.
We're gonna meet them.
We don't know where they are.
I know where
we
to
don't have
meet.
Farouk, so we don't.
There is basically a main road that we can take, or we can.
If they take the main road.
We could also just stay in the mountainside and wait till their arrival. They're an army. We noticed them.
We'll see how this works out.
Let's put up a camp in the mountain ridge and we'll wait for their arrival. We'll meet up there with them. All right.
Damn.
Damn, indeed.
All right. So, as the two of you travel back towards the encampment, is there anything else that you would like to do?
I would like to do some alchemy the rest of the day until they're done, until they're here.
Very well.
Not sure what yet, so I'll come back to that in a little bit. But
Fair enough.
Is the fight going to be today or tomorrow?
when they arrive, basically.
Yeah. So, basically, the amount of travel time that was expected was an entire day. So, probably they'll end up arriving like around the evening hour 1 day from now.
Oh,
So you
okay,
basically
so
have,
I
like-
have a long rest to prepare different
Yes.
spells.
You have indeed, my good sir,
Sure.
Sir.
madam.
Madam. All right. What I'd like to, depending on the time, I'll start off with making one of the old man friends to get a potion of stabilization.
Very well.
And if I have enough time, I will make another potion from the blue cap mushrooms to create a potion of poison resistance.
All right. Then with that, go ahead and let's just freeball this one because right now we're not using the normal rules that we set out for you to use. So go ahead and make 2 crafting checks for me. And we'll run off of those.
Charlie, do I have another hero point or not? Do you know?
Yes, you do.
Okay.
Courtesy of Mariska.
I don't need any of them, either of them, because I have a 17 and an 18 lying before me here, which adds
Alright.
up in a 32 and a 31.
Okay. Then I'll say that during this day, as you get back towards your tent, now without Farroot, as Farroot is going on towards the incoming forces, you are coming here, still the adrenaline pumping through your veins.
I
trying
have
to-
adrenaline pumping through my
Yeah.
veins.
Trying to calm down a little bit, getting out your alchemical supplies once again, and just like filter out the outside world and just focus on your work at hand. And as you do so, you begin to concoct these different aspects of your potions. The first one eventually comes to a point where you can choose if you either add like the reagents that you have or that you continue to craft them. So basically you can now just throw money at the problem or go onward.
How long does this take me? And how long do I expect the army will arrive?
Basically you have 1.5 days now.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll say you have 3 time slots to create a potion.
Okay. And
So you can use 2 of them to create 1 potion completely.
Sure. I'll throw some money against the antidote one. It's like 5 silver, and then I'll basically do the poison resistant one on my own.
Completely.
Yeah.
All right. As you are set up here, the rest of this day, and eventually as you take a long rest, the rest of the second day also, you are distilling this 1 potion of poison resistance, which will hopefully aid you guys in the fight that is to come, as the large green drake with Tazric on top of it is surely going to implore some sort of poisonous substances.
Yeah, I figured as much. So we have 2 of those, and we have a couple of antidotes. So I think we're pretty good.
All right. Sounds good. In the meantime, Hannah, as you are getting towards the encampment and the adrenaline also running through your veins, what would you like to do?
I'm just going to try to connect with nature and pray that we don't die.
Oh my god. Let me see real quick.
That's pretty fair.
Yeah.
Um,
Damn it. You said we had a cat, so I have to take Melo with us.
yeah, that's true.
I want you to use Melo. Like, Melo has a lot of potential, and you keep on not using him.
I keep on sending him away because he gets hurt so much that I have to use an action to heal him.
Then use him smarter.
It's not very useful.
All right, so
Just kidding.
let me
Sure you are.
let me change up the music now a little bit to something a little bit more
Whew.
dire. There we go.
All right. I'm
Alright, so-
sweating.
In the meantime, all the different bubbly potions that Allison is creating are bubbling up to the surface, focused on that. You, here in this meadow, the rustling of leaves on top of your head, you sit down and just spend the rest of your time here meditating. Just trying to see if you can, in some way, get a little bit of aid from nature surrounding you or from the Wild Mother, Melora, that you have been worshipping this coming time. I'll say, you know what? Let's go hard or go home. Just roll one check.
Oh.
Just one.
Just roll?
Yeah, just one. This would be. Go ahead and make a wisdom check for me, as a druid.
In the meantime, Wouter,
16.
should I show the battle map that you have in front of you for the other thing, or to people that they can just see?
Oh
'Cause it's
yeah,
not gonna
that could
used.
be a thing. That could be a
So
thing.
I'll just show that one.
16.
16. All right. Yeah. There we have all of the certain death that would become these
Oh my
creatures right over
God.
here. Yeah. There was only half of it, because there is a small army of roughly 100 men marching towards all of them, and there would have been like some issues. Yeah. Would have been neat though. Would have been neat.
I don't know. I feel confident. I can protect one of them each round. So
Fair enough. I did not calculate that when I was building this encounter. All right.
and once per combat, I can heal guys.
It's also very very good. Very good.
Corporal will be just like, oh no, I'm going to save you. It's fine, I'm fine.
Oh shit! I have to heal more than once. I didn't plan for this.
But what? No. But Hannah, as you are sitting down here on the forest floor, as Allison is running around sometimes, getting some other ingredients, getting more firewood that he needs for his concoctions, you are just here, at peace. The wind blows where it goes. The rustling of leaves fills your mind. You feel all these small critters crawl around you, the different insects, the different small animals, birds fly overhead. And as you do so, the medallion that you have made for yourself, the leaf inlaid with like the blue swirl, the token of Melora, begins to emanate with every of your breaths. With every inward inhale, it glows up and then dims again as you exhale. And as you continue to do so for 1.5 days straight, you begin more and more to feel how this area around you, how it is all connected with one another. You remember how Farroot spoke, how he was reading or listening to the trees and knew things of his surroundings. And as you begin to tap into the ground below you, you can feel the vagrant energy inside these lands. It is a wild place, to be sure, the Cragged Hills, but also a place full of life. And slowly but surely you begin to tap into this network of all different living creatures, all having symbiotic relationships with each other, all being a part of one large network, as all the different cells in your body are also part of one large network, which you do not know because you, as Hannah, have no idea about what biology actually is, and cells and atoms and whatever. But still, good metaphor nonetheless. And as you begin to do this, you begin to see how you fit into this network. How you are also this one living creature just woven into the fabric of these lands. And afterward, you also begin to learn how to tap into this network. And eventually your perception extends far beyond where it did before. And eventually you feel that as you open your eyes once again, your entire surroundings are so much more clear, so much more visible. And you begin to react even quicker to all the different things that happen. one of the leaves falls off of the tree above you, and you catch it just out of the air without actually knowing what you're doing. For the time being, you have a plus 1 bonus to all your perception checks while in the Cragged Hills. So that's nice. Druids at places with a lot of nature and stuff.
Yeah, nature.
All right. In the meantime, as these days pass, you getting ready for the trial that is to come. Recall, on the other side of these wild lands, you are marching forward. As the second day after your arrival in Treffelsford has come, and the guards are at the ready to march with you. Is there anything that you would like to do as you venture forth into the wilds?
I mean, no, not a lot. Gathered my stuff, gathered up Iro. Iro and I are discussing strategy on should it come to fisticuffs, so to speak. But aside from that, not really. But as we depart, at this point, I've gotten to know a lot of the soldiers. Or Gurkal has.
You have indeed.
Yeah, he's made a little connection, and they all think he's kind of weird. I didn't roll that well in my diplomacy, but
no,
he's a cool guy.
But they were able to see the raw strength that you possess at the very least, and they know that in a battle you will be a good brother in arms.
Perfect. So as we depart through the city gates, Recall basically he finds himself some kind of an abandoned cart, a few crates near the gate. He stands on top of them, and he for like as a sort of prayer. And to Gurkal, don't be mistaken, it is very much a prayer. He roars battle cries in his own language as the army passes him by. Just consistently motivating, screaming, praying to Kuranau of blood to fall and wishing for it to be its enemies.
Nice. As on one side of the large hill or small mountain that Treffelsford is vested upon, this one path that you before climbed upwards now begins to descend with the narrow but long streak of guards and mercenaries at your side with different carts between them. You stand at one side and one large rock jetting out of the earth, where you stand and speak these words of prayer as these people walk underneath you, and you bestow upon them this blessing of Kuranau in whatever trials there might be to come. Go ahead and make a religion check for me.
That's a modifier of 8. D20, go. Ooh, that is a very low 8. I do have a hero point. Maybe it's cool to use it now. I feel like this is cool. Yeah, so I'm going to use it. Thank you, Mariska.
Fair enough.
Natural 20, baby!
Oh, shit, son!
Oh! So that brings us to a 28 on that natural 20.
Nice. As you stand here before your troops, you can see all the beautiful rays of sunlight ricocheting off your beautiful full-plate armor and enveloping everybody in this divine light of you and your god as they march onto war. And while the differences might be invisible to the naked eye, you can see that as every one person steps underneath you and your roars of strength, you can see that the spears that they are holding come upward as they broaden their back and righten their shoulders, and they step forward into the wilderness, motivated by your words. And as this goes on, so begins an entire day of trekking forward through the wilderness. The different rangers that you had procured or acquired, Bouter? One of these two. That you have at your disposal. Paving the way for you and your troops. The carts that they are carrying with them are difficult to take through these wild, unkept lands, but the rangers themselves are able to carve a path, if you will. Not the quickest, but certainly a lot quicker than if you should have found your own way through all of this. And as this goes on, eventually, after half a day's of travel, you and Iro at the front of this long stretched caravan of soldiers, you are not ambushed, however. you do see that the trees part way a little bit as Farroot steps forward. All of different guards and mercenaries, oh, wow, at this treant who just walks up, looks a little bit uneasy at all the peering eyes, but then looms over you and Iroh and begins to communicate what has been going on. Eventually, as this goes on, Farroot travels with all of you and eventually finds the small campsite in the hills. Here, just outside of the small meadow where you guys are keeping, you order your mercenaries and guards to set up camp to make sure that the next day will be one where everybody is at the ready. Because tomorrow, it seems that something is going on. As this encampment is being set up, Farroot leads you to this small meadow where in the side of the hilltop, this large tent is still being covered by the leaves and vines and branches that you had laid upon it as camouflage. In front of it, you see Hannah meditating, sitting upward for 1 second after going back to her meditation if she wants to have a conversation with all of you. And Allison steps out of the tent, small plumes of smoke billowing upward as he is concocting some potions. What do you guys want to do?
Guys,
Hey, Allison.
how big is the army?
We got almost 100. Oh, and before we say anything else, my name is Lord Sifspa. This is Lord Grikal. You are Lord Allison. I wouldn't use the other name that you have, and you are Lady Hannah. And we are all subjects of Lord Farclaw.
Why?
Lady.
Yes.
How do you mean why? We have an army.
I say, do not question it. We shall question Iroh's choices later.
Hey,
Now,
man, you
we
asked
have
for an army, I delivered. That seems like a win to me.
Why is it bad for me to use my name?
Wouter is doing
No
an
reason.
excellent Iroh. This is hilarious.
Should
No
I
particular reason.
should I hide my insignia?
I mean, it could only attract attention, you know, so maybe
We
just...
pretend we are who we are not. Yes?
Oh God, what have you done?
How come again?
Like I said, talk other time first.
Yes. What I
Please
did
hop
was bring an army.
Okay, good. I did my job too. Hannah did her job too. They are still here, and we have a duel planned for tomorrow.
A what now?
Yes?
A duel.
A
Much better than Grikal thought.
No more bloodshed
Was-
besides the ones that are slain, during the battle.
Yes.
so
Great wish. Thank you, Allison. But
so
no
instead,
big army then.
okay.
The army is
I
here
thought-
as backup.
I thought we were just going to flex a little bit and call it a day.
We are flexing a little bit.
We are flexing hard.
We have to flex.
Iroh, be ready for the flex. Sorry,
Propel's doing some character growth right here.
No.
Grikal doesn't know what flexing is, but he's 100% in. You son of a
Allison looks very proud, by the way. He has a very proud posture at this moment.
bitch. Yeah,
even
Grikal's proud of himself too. Yeah, totally.
even Iroh's actions cannot wipe the grin off of Allison's face.
Basically,
That says a lot. That says a lot.
that says a lot, yeah. All right. Well, if you say so, I do want an explanation after tomorrow. For now, have these, and I give Grikal a potion of poison resistance. And do you still have antidotes?
That is a good question. I shall check.
Hannah, do you still have antidotes?
I had a juggernaut potion, but I don't know what it does.
Yeah, we also have juggernaut potions. Do you have an antidote, Hannah?
No,
Give you an antidote?
not anymore.
So the duel's tomorrow.
Yes.
Okay.
Well, at least somewhere tomorrow, yeah.
Just for reference, Wouter, now I am putting returning on my spear.
All right.
And the tactics I was discussing with Iro probably apply here. So for what might be easiest is if Iro is going to participate, then he spends 2 of his actions blessing whenever possible. And otherwise, he is going to make an athletics check to start disarming the ward.
Very well.
Okay.
So that I can disarm him.
Allison also hands out to you, Greco, and to Iro a Juggernaut potion. I will tell you what that does, and it's very good during this fight. Juggernaut potion mutagen. There you go. Okay. After you drink this mutagen, your body becomes thick and sturdy. You exhibit a healthy glow, though you tend to be ponderous and unobservant. You gain an item bonus to fortitude saves and listed numbers of temporary hit points. Whenever you're at max hit points for at least 1 full minute, you gain these temporary hit points. A drawback, you take a -2 penalty to will saves, perception checks, initiative rolls. So this is very good to use during combat. Okay. So after the initiative has been rolled,
what's
you
the
drink
bonus
this.
to my fortitude and HP?
Let's see. So I have normal ones, so it's a +1 bonus to fortitude and 5 temporary hit points.
Sorry, one more time.
Plus
5 temporary hit points?
And +1 to fortitude.
Okay.
So against these poisons, it's going to be very, very nice. Just be a little bit more sturdy. Let's just hope they don't have any sneaky guys in the fight.
And Wouter, I will also be applying. I still have.
We can no longer hear you. Oh.
Yeah?
You cut out for a second there, Charlie.
No worries. So I still have 2 doses or 2 vials of lethargy poison that I looted at one point. I'm gonna apply a dose of that 1 time to my spear and 1 time to my shield boss.
Does the shield boss do piercing or slashing damage?
No, it doesn't.
Yeah, it needs to get into the bloodstream.
Oh, that's fair. That makes sense. Okay, so then I'm just applying. Oh, can I apply it as well to the neck chopper, head chopper?
You can indeed.
Then I apply both doses.
Very well. We'll say you do that tomorrow, because if you do it right now, it'll drip off before then. But we can just say that's one of the preparations that you take, and you will have that on your weapon when you enter combat.
Do people still have elixirs of life?
I have 1 elixir of life and 1 antidote.
Oh, guys.
And I have a quick potion.
Then as you guys are preparing all the different potions, all the different concoctions come out at the table, I think this is a good time to take a little break.
And we do the preparations, and then
we do the prep work, because I now also have a little bit of prep work to do.
Yeah.
And we will see you all back at 8:30 to continue this adventure.
Let's do 8:35. Let's give you some extra time to prepare everything. And
no, I don't need that much time. No, I got everything ready. You think I'm a bad DM? Come on, dude. Come on. What's this? Come on. No, I just need to get I need to get Tazric to an additional battle map right now.
Fair enough.
All. Should be doable.
All right.
So we'll be back at 8:30. Where without Iro, although he will be in the combat encounter, we will go ahead and duel, I guess.
Apparently, yeah.
It's doable.
Duelable. Oh, God.
And with that one, I'm going to take it to the break. See you guys in a bit.
What?